This is an open letter to Uncle Sam, basically, which stands for whoever is in charge of, you know, this great machine, this great ship that is United States of America in 21st century, at the beginning of the 21st century. And as we go forward, this is a letter in general to whoever has got you know, the job of being the captain of the ship that is United States of America. And the reason is simple, is because it's the mightiest ship on the planet at this moment in history of 2-3 million years of Homo sapiens. At this point, United States is the leading ship with the most armed, the most powerful ship at this moment. But so I need to say this because I want to tell you, Uncle Sam, about Iran, and because you're the most important militarily, economically, the most important item on the chessboard, most important piece of the game. So, as any empire is at any given time throughout the 2-3 million year history, because we are not sure exactly how many times these empires have formed and deformed that we don't know about. That's not within our written history. It might be 100,000 years ago. Whatever existed is long gone now. There's not even written records of it. But the point is this, that Uncle Sam, because you have this position, I am in a position to tell you about Iran, what I know of Iran, because I feel that many don't know, many of the top, in position of leaderships, don't know much about Iran, except the things that they also have heard from the news. And then you got to follow up and find out who's giving this news, that who are the white hats and who are the black hats. Whoever makes the news and introduces this is a white hat and this is a black hat, basically also is telling the politicians that who they should put their money on and who they should avoid. It's white hats and black hats. So the media has a great role here, and for some reason, there are certain things being lost in translation. So I'm here to tell you about that. What is being lost in translation? The misunderstanding that exists between my dear Uncle Sam and the Iranians. Because I was born there, spent a beginning of my life there for 14 years. Then I was at the service of Uncle Sam for a few years, and then I went back to Iran, and that was a horrible time. And anyway, now I'm at the service of Uncle Sam for the past 15, 16, 17 years. So I feel this obligation to see if we can avoid things being lost in translation, or things that are not being said. We should avoid having things not said. Everything has to be said, and see if something can be worked out. So let's put all the chips on the table. Here's the thing, Uncle Sam. All the chips on the table means at least you gotta know who are these motherfuckers in that area that is Iran. Who the fuck are these people? And well, who the fuck are these people? These people are due to accident of geography. These people are the way they are. It has a lot to do with geography. The stereotype of people, which actually does exist. Let's not beat around the bush. Everybody has stereotypes. Races have stereotypes. Neighborhood have stereotypes. Everything has stereotypes. So yeah, stereotype of a people is very much affected by their geography. So the British, by their geography, because they didn't have access to a lot of resources, had to be more efficient and more aggressive to go inland and bring stuff to make stuff in the British Islands, because they have run out of their own resources. That's how islands work, especially an island with a very populated island. So that's the mentality of the British. I mean, that kind of mentality would never exist in the Arabian Peninsula. They were, hunter-gatherers up to recently. And that's a certain mindset, but you can find the same mindset that the British have, more or less, the aggressiveness, the efficiency, in the Japanese. Again, another island nation which had a, substantial population, but still had to, support itself. So it had to be very efficient and aggressive to go inland and bring stuff out so they can produce. So the Japanese it's to their benefit to be friendly with the mainlanders, which are the Chinese, because they need their stuff. Their resources has to come from China, a lot of it, because it's the most efficient ways. They're the closest. So I'm not sure these allies that being formed, I'm not sure how logical these things are, because anyway. But my point is this about Iran: geography matters. What with Iran, the heart of Iran, the heart of Iran that's holding the fucking thing together, is the people of the bottleneck of the Persian Gulf and the Caspian Sea. The people at the bottleneck of the Persian Gulf and the Caspian Sea are the Iranians. Why bottleneck? Because of the Silk Road. Silk Road could go up and down, take many routes on the left-hand side, on the Asian side, on the right-hand side, on the Asian side, and on the left-hand side, the European side. They could have moved a lot, because no body of water inland water is as big as Caspian Sea. Because it has been elongated, the trade between the East and West, which the Silk Road was the purpose, it was built, it was known, was because of the trade between the East and West. On the Chinese side, many could take, on the Asian side, many could take many routes. But all of these had to pass from between the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. If you don't want to, get on the ship and put all those camels and the stuff on the ship, because you have to unpack and pack again. If you decide to take a water route between your land route, and it was very inefficient, so they didn't do it. They tried to this bottleneck that is Iran had to be safe for this trade between East and West to continue, because the Silk Route could not go over the Caspian Sea, because over Caspian Sea is Siberia basically, and it's it's unworkable, neither in winter nor in summer, because in summer it turns into mud. So the bottleneck of transportation between east and west for as long as there is human history, because geographies don't change as fast as all that. So as long as humans been on earth, Homo sapiens been on earth, that fucking bottleneck has been there. So even when the people, Homo erectus, went from Africa to Asia to East Asia, had to pass through this fucking bottleneck. So my point is this: the people who are at that bottleneck are very had to be, with a very police mentality, very hard and rigid and fucked up, right? Because whoever was living in that bottleneck had an interest in keeping the bottleneck safe. They are a police state by nature. Whether it be it's a kingdom, whether it be these motherfuckers or those motherfuckers or any other motherfucker, it's going to be a police state because that's who they are. They're comfortable with order. Iranians are comfortable with order. But through sanctions, you're trying to force a disorder. As an owner of an empire, I'm not sure why are you trying to force disorder by sanctions. Isn't empire all about order? These motherfuckers have kept an order there. Can they get their ticket and join and sit down? They're a little uncomfortable with the pink skins who you have inserted in West Asia. They're a little uncomfortable with them because, again, it's a colony. We all know it. I love my Jewish friends. I love them. Good people, smart people. But let's face it, 80% of the population of Israel is pink skin, of European heritage. You look at everything, you look at the videos, 80%, 90% is pink skin. It's a pink skin structure of governance in West Asia, which is brown skin land. You see, the sun, there's more sunshine there's arid and sunshine and dry and uncomfortable. I'm not sure what the fuck it's not a very nice place. I love the Jews and how smart they are. They have made it a nice place for themselves, but it's a dry, arid environment. Lack of water. Thank God for the desalination plants. But the point is this: the locals, the brown people, the locals, are uncomfortable with the pink skins ruling them, because the pink skins treat them as second-class citizens. And the whole pink skin paradigm of thinking, and the darker your skin is, the farther you are from the first-class citizen, which is us, pink skin. And this is the reality. This is the reality of the world. I mean, even in fucking India, the lighter skinned Indians are, taken more, they have a higher status in the Indian society if they have lighter skin, and lower status if they have a darker skin. There is this bias that has formed. The beauty has been described as, Scandinavian woman. That's how beauty is defined, and not, Zimbabwean woman. That's how you have decided to define beauty on your planet. I don't know. But the point is this, that the point is simple. They have inserted themselves, and nobody has an issue with that. They were uncomfortable with other pink skins in Europe. My Jewish brothers were uncomfortable with their Christian brothers in Europe because they got persecuted by all of them at one point or the other. Holocaust was the last one. Before that, it was the Inquisitions, and before that, the Jews have suffered in Europe a lot. Yeah, the Europeans owe them a lot because made all of them suffer. But the point is this: okay, we want to go live in the Holy Land. Okay, fine, and we want to live together because we have been persecuted by you motherfuckers forever. But when looking at it from a perspective of a brown skin local, these guys are pink skin. A local cannot tell a difference between a Jew and a Gentile as long as they're both Europeans. A brown man really can't tell which one is which. The brown skin. They are, again, it goes back to race. We first see race. That, okay, who's saying this thing? Is it a pink skin saying this thing? Is it a black skin saying it? Is it a brown? This is how it is. So as far as browns are concerned, the brown locals, they don't distinguish between the Jew and the Gentile. They're both pink skins from Europe, from northern hemisphere of Earth. You see, you have your color tells you which part of the hemisphere you belong to. You belong to cooler climate, you have pink skin, and if you belong to middle climate, you're brown skin, and really hot climate, you do well with the black skin, or else you're going to get carcinoma soon. So where we belong is more on the planet as far as latitude-wide is concerned, is stated in our skin. So in a dry, arid climate such as, that eastern side of Mediterranean, Western Asia, Eastern Mediterranean, that area is not well suited for pink skin because of, too much sunshine, carcinoma. The point is this: you are inserting a whole bunch of, not inserting, no, they're inserting themselves. The coming of the Jewish people to that land should be fine. It's like, okay, they want to live here. They've been, they bothered them. The other pink skins bothered these pink skins. So these pink skins, we want to live together and live here. Okay, fine. But you gotta somehow, bring, two-state will not work, because Israel is not going to let Palestine have a nuclear weapons of themselves, for themselves. Let's draw let's say, forget about the little stuff. Israel is not going to let Palestine have their own nuclear weapons. So, and as long as one side doesn't have nuclear weapon and the other side has, that's basically they're never equal. But so my point is this: two-state will not work. It has to be one state, but here is where it comes down to. Defining an official language for that state, making it very ethnic. If you make the country is very ethnically run, that's when other ethnicities and other religions are left out. Some who somehow accept the whatever rule they're applied to, accept it, but then they soon find out that they're not really trusted. They're considered second or third class citizens. They're not given exactly as much right as other citizens, the pink skin citizens. So and reality is, I wouldn't consider so much as it has a Jewish face, but its reality is a pink skin land. Structure is pink skin, and it's not me saying this. There are articles that on a newspaper that, the Jewish Ethiopians have, had some trouble. Of a lot of racism, a lot of jobs are not given to them. They're not treated as equal. They're third-class citizens. The brown folks are the second-class citizens, and the pink skins, who are, 80% of the population are the first-class citizens. And they happen to be pink skin, not local, i.e. pink skin, not local, but from overseas. Okay? The way to handle is one state, but just go easy on the religious parts. If you give certain certain rights to one religion, give the same rights to the other religion. Allow this whole idea of I'm sure there are enough open lands to build that you can build wherever you see empty spots. Just don't fill the empty spots. I'm sure it's a big land. It can fit a lot of people in it, but this whole idea of segregation, the segregation part is a little nuts. Let's put it this way. Treat them the same rights. I have a feeling that if you tone down the religious aspect of the whole enterprise and give all of them the same rights, whoever is living on that land has the same rights as other, I'm sure everybody comes to the table, shakes hands. I think that's all they want. I don't think you have problem with land over there. The biggest piece of land in the world is Los Angeles, and Israel is considerably larger than Los Angeles. And imagine how much Los Angeles has fitted inside. It can be worked out with how smart the Israelis are, the Jews are. They can work it out. I'm sure they can work it out. I'm not sure what the hell is this. And as long as the government becomes secular, this becomes secular. It gives the same rights. Being secular means exactly this. Justice, giving the same rights to everybody. The same rights to everybody means that then also giving them the right to maybe a Palestinian would be a president. They also have a chance at running to become the prime minister or whatever. That's what I'm saying. But when you do it like that, then it's a little the Jewish identity of the piece of real estate. The Jewish identity is maybe it's not lost. It's next to other identities that are available on the land. What's wrong with that? Here's the thing. I thought I talk about Iran in this piece, but I'm going sideways. Here's the thing, folks. Israel, God save Israel, is Palestine, Israel, the Holy Land. Let's call it. Let's call it the Holy Land. Fuck. This has been on the other side of Egypt forever. It's geography. Again, back to stereotype of geography. This has been the other side of the Suez Canal from ever Homo sapiens started walking on this planet of yours. Everybody has passed, all of our ancestors, whoever came on this side and reproduced and resulted into us on this side of the Suez Canal, all of our ancestors have passed through this to spread to Asia and Europe and then later to Americas and North and South, all of them. So in a way, all of our ancestors have passed through that land, because if you come north in Africa, you reach Egypt, let's say you're a first Homo erectus walking out of Africa. You come up from the African jungles, to Egypt, you stay overnight there, then you cross the canal because it's the shortest distance between two pieces of land. You didn't see any short distances, you couldn't swim so far away. So everybody passed through the Suez Canal. All of our ancestors passed through the Suez Canal. So if when you pass through the Suez Canal, the first, usable, settleable, the first hotel would be, modern day hotel would be on the Holy Land in Asia side. So Egypt was the African stop, and Palestine, Israel was the Asian pit stop for whoever did this crossing or went back anyway. So in a way, for everybody who's living on, all Homo sapiens who are living on planet Earth outside of Africa, the Holy Land is really the Holy Land. Everybody has passed through it. It's a shrine to it should be a shrine to humanity. But you can't have a shrine to humanity in the Holy Land, but try to wipe out other representatives of this humanity, other groups, such as the Christians and the Muslims and there are many sects of Islam and many sects of Christianity who believe in something holy about the Holy Land. Everybody has their own myth and stories and histories, and the point is this, folks. You gotta run the Holy Land a little less, with less religious zest, because when religious becomes zesty for one religion in specific, it makes other religions, other people who believe in other myths uncomfortable, uneasy, and soon clashes erupt. Just treat everybody as first-class citizen. So everybody has the same right as everybody else. And that means, you wouldn't allow, just pushing others out of a piece of land to claim it is a little cowboyish. That's what I'm saying, folks. Pinkskins, I'm sorry, many of my friends are pinkskins. I love you folks, but here's the thing. When I say pinkskins, I mean it with where the society, the pinkskin society, where it leads, it usually leads towards conquering others. There's a pingskin trait. I mean, they from Europe. They're smart people, good people, but very aggressive. From Europe, you spread out to Americas, north and south, eliminate the local population, then you spread out, and mostly from the British. God, I hate the British. The British go into Australia, eliminate the local population, settle down, go to Asia, Hong Kong and Macau, and maybe a little more here, Vietnam for the French and Khmer Rouge. The whole idea of the pinkskins going to other side of the planet and trying to take sides with one local against another local, it's a silly game. Locals have problem with each other. They have always had problem with each other. Whether Uncle Sam was present on Earth or when Uncle Sam was not present on Earth, locals have problems with each other. If locals, even within one nation, they have problem with each other. They sort it out, but outside intervention, the way the British convinced Uncle Sam to, pour weapons into Afghanistan so the Afghans can be free from what? Free from education, free from order, that the Russians were trying to fucking bring to the mountaintops of Afghanistan. That was a bad thing. Somebody was spending money to bring order to the mountaintops of Afghanistan. Order is good. Why Uncle Sam was convinced by the British that's a good idea to arm these backward people? Stinger missiles. Why? They're trying to bring order. Yeah, they have a form of economy that is collective. So what? Let's see if they can bring order with their collectives over there. Let them try it. But here's the thing, Uncle Sam, love you, man. Here, the thing about you haven't been bringing order lately. I'm sorry, but I mean, Saddam was order. If you hadn't blockaded him, he could have, he was having a. If you hadn't, supported him in his, wars with Iran, and then if you haven't blockaded him, and so he could feed his people, I mean, one dictator to another dictator, it really shouldn't make any difference. I mean, it's not like these kingdoms in the Arabian Peninsula or any of them democratic, but so and they're all, allies and assets. But so the whole democratic issue is not the real. It's not the real reason, because many undemocratic places is like Uncle Sam is supporting, and allies and assets. So it can't be that. So the point is this. So this was one of the dictators. Saddam was one of the dictators. So if you could meet his price, that would be fine. If you could meet his price, that would be fine. I mean, 500,000 Iraqis wouldn't have died as, collateral damage. After, whether be it within their civil war that erupted after, the guy who was keeping order was removed. Now, to the Iranians, there is somebody keeping order over there. Why not cooperate with them so they can continue keeping order? The only objective here is to keeping order. I'm not sure what's the problem here. They are keeping order. Although you're trying to, with the sanctions, or you're trying to bring disorder. Now, as the empire of the time, I would think that you're looking for order. Well, they've had order for 50 years. Are you looking for disorder? That's why you're applying sanctions and we want to create a disorder? Okay, you created the disorder in Iraq. Has it got better? It's been 20 years now. 500,000 dead later, 20 years, and it still doesn't have the kind of order that Saddam had. As far as democratic, again, you don't care about democracy, Uncle Sam. Don't say you do, because you tolerate all kinds of... Many of those dictators you introduced. I mean, the Shah of Iran was, handpicked by the British. The main Reza Shah. Then the Shah, his son as well, they're both handpicked. I mean, you're appointing a governor, making a king, or having a king. There is a king or there is a governor. So, and the Iranians didn't like that. Here's the thing about the Iranians, folks. Back to the Iranians. The whole idea of, what happened to Iraq happened to Iranians is revoltive. It's revolting. Because it's not necessary. They're keeping order. They have order. You have to meet their price. and the whole thing is they are. Here's the thing, again, that is what they don't understand is why Israel should have a pink skin identity, European identity. Why this is I think their issue with Israel. So why does this have to have a a specific religious identity? Why the governmental structure over there has to have a specific religious identity, and why it's not treating the people who are living there as first-class citizens? Why some are pushed out because of their ethnicity or skin color, because they're brown? Many of them, it's like they're the locals. They were living there. The locals were pushed out, so the immigrants can settle in. That's exactly what happened to the Redskins in Americas, that they were pushed in, and they're called reservations. In America they call it reservations, and in Israel they call it what? Over here they call them reservation, and over there in South Africa they call them townships. It's the pink skin going in, taking over and pushing the locals into very cramped conditions, because the pink skins have come in, we have settled down, we take over this land, the system has to be our system, the order has to be our order, and you motherfuckers live on those reservations or townships or refugee camps. It just doesn't make sense that some people from outside coming in and pushing the locals who have memories there, were born over there. As locals being born over there, they cannot they're not considered as first-class citizens. They cannot have equal rights as the settlers. That's exactly like the Redskins not being given the same rights as the pink skins in America. You wouldn't accept that, at least now. But that's exactly what's happening over there, and that's, I think, one of the only objections I think the Iranians have. As far as the Iranians, the geography, as we all went over it, dictates who they are. These people are hard people because they had to make that bottleneck of the Silk Road safe. And both East and West were thankful for these guys for keeping the bottleneck safe. So and the way Iranians had an empire was to take more control over this road to still keep it safer, farther control over this road. So the Iranians have always been for order, because that's how they made their money. Order. If goods can be transported safely through your territory, you make money off that. Your people make money off that. If there is order. And to have that kind of mentality to keep order at all time over this fucking Silk Road, I'm sure, I hope those people, anybody who's listening already knows that this ocean transportation was not available then, because not as it is available now, because you had to depend on wind, and especially going from Europe to India, you couldn't go against the monsoon winds. So 6 months a year you could go that side, and 6 months a year you could only go this way. So it would become very unprofitable if your ship has to sit for 6 months until they can cross back. and bring the stuff that they bought. So what happens, it becomes very unprofitable, so they had to use the land. The land was more dependable than the ocean. So this hopefully everybody already knows this. So the point is this: the people who live there are hard-headed. They are orderly and they are hard-headed, and they take orders very well. I think that's an asset to humanity, because the whole civilization is based on order. Well, they're keeping order. They're just uncomfortable being pushed around. They were uncomfortable, Uncle Sam. They were uncomfortable that you and the British sat down and chose Reza Shah for these people, and then chose their next leader, Shah, for these people. They're mad at that because for a lifetime, culturally, they are the gatekeepers of the Silk Road. They were the gatekeepers when the Silk Road was the only way to transport goods east to west, Europe to Asia, and vice versa. The whole point is this: these people are hard. They really care. They really think it's their job to protect that area of earth. I don't know how else to put this. They think, the people who live there, because all their culture is based on keeping order and safety on this fucking Silk Road, so they value order. They want to keep order. They think it's their job to keep order, that little piece of fucking geography on this planet. They think it's their job because it's part of their culture, their folklore. So the point is this: if they think it's their job to protect that piece of land, let them fucking protect that piece of land and keep order over it. That's it. If they're keeping order here and those guys are keeping order there, in my view, I'm sorry, this is not my view, this is fact. Right now, the Iranians have order in that piece of land, but your partners have had disorder for the past 100 years, ever since this situation was created in Israel with these locals, the pink skins and the brown skins. This situation, Israel is in disorder for fucking 100 years. So I'm sorry, I love Jewish people, but it's your job to keep order there. So if you have unsatisfied inhabitants, it's your job to satisfy them, so they wouldn't be unsatisfied, so you could keep order. I'm not sure what part of this you folks are missing. Iranians have been keeping order even under sanctions. I'm not sure why they're being sanctioned. They're keeping order in that piece of land. The most important objective of every colony of people on this planet, the most important objective is to keep order, because civilization can only survive with order. They're keeping order, but your partners, your allies, the Israeli, my beloved Jewish folks, they are not being able to keep order. They're segregating people and dividing them, and you're the first class, and you're second class, you're third class. No, you look a little dark. We don't think you should be here. This is not your street. You look a little dark. Or, it just... Folks, it's very simple. Order good, disorder bad. If you have disorder, find out what's the other side's problem, satisfy his problem. If he wants to be treated like everybody else in this piece of land, okay, treat him like everybody else. Give everybody the status of first-class citizenship. That means if you sing a Jewish song every morning from your radio, you'd sing Muslim song and you sing a Christian song and you sing a whatever the fucking else song, and so basically saying that we are all in the morning prayer, whatever the fuck you gotta say to satisfy people, to make them feel as equal, for all, make all of them feel like first-class citizens, valuable members of the society over there. They're locals, they're brown, they were born there. That gotta give them first-class citizenship, doesn't? I mean, if you're born in a piece of land and that doesn't give you the right to claim that land, if you're fucking born on it, then what does? Love you, Uncle Sam. Love my Jewish folks, all of you, but Jewish folks are smart. You guys gotta, bring order to the land, not by force. Folks, the thing about force is that when you have to keep a system together with force, that costs a lot of money. Use of force costs a lot of money. That's human productivity that is being wasted in order to keep a fucking system going. Now, if you can, have the system going without application of force, that's a better thing. And if all it takes to keep the system going without the application of force, i.e. extra expense, if all it takes for keeping the system going without force, without extra expense, is to treat everybody the same, to give everybody a first-class citizenship status, then let's do it. Giving the fucking brown people who were born there the same rights as the guys who just stepped off the ship, the pink skin who stepped off the ship, if at least given the same rights. I'm sure you can build enough skyscrapers in that holy land to fit everybody in. I'm sure you can do it. You got the smartest people in the world. I'm sure you can build so much in that land to fit everybody in. So it's not going to be a question of, no, we don't have enough room for everybody. You're gonna have enough room for everybody. You're gonna build, skyscrapers by the mile. So the whole idea of this earth is precious and we only have to walk on this part of the earth, and you cannot walk on this part of the earth, you have to walk on that part of the earth. Oh, love you folks. Love you, Uncle Sam. This is the story of the Iranians, folks. Iranians feel responsible because their job ever since Homo sapiens, stepped out of Africa and into Asia and passed from the area between the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. The first humans who passed there and the first humans who settled there, the rest have had to pass from this bottleneck. So over there, people are hard-headed. They feel it's their job to keep it's their obligation to keep order there. Then they want peace because that was their job. Throughout history, the Iranians' job was to keep peace to as much as the longest stretch of this Silk Road that they could. Because when it's under one control, one rule, you can keep, better order. And that was their job, and they like keeping order. And now, Uncle Sam, you're the empire. You like order, and they are orderly. It's just your allies in Israel they're the ones who have not been able to bring order for the past 70 years, 80 years, since they were established. Since Israel was established, there has been disorder. I don't, it's the locals and the settlers. As simple as that. The pink skins and the red skins. Over there they got the pink skins and the brown skins. The locals and the settlers. This is it's disorder. And elimination is not the is not the most logical. Folks, we are diversity. The thing that you got going on your planet that is nice is the diversity. Without diversity, life is not worth living. Meat and potatoes every night, or bread and butter every night, or bread every night, it's after a while you're like, fuck. We are, the memories that we create. If there is no diversity, we cannot create memories, because everything looks the same every day, every day, every day. So diversity is the only thing that makes life worth living. And I'm sure the Jewish folks would love to have, after a while they get bored of each other. I'm sure they love to have diversity within their cities, to have the Christian neighborhood, to have the Arab neighborhood, the Muslim neighborhood, the fuck neighborhood, because of the diversity that creates memories, creates life. The monochrome is not good. It's just not memorable. Monochrome is just nuts. It's mechanical. So I think you should cherish the diversity in the Holy Land. You should build, skyscrapers and fit everybody in. Make it the most modern, populated country in the world. Why not? Make the whole country one big city. You got the brains, but just fit everybody in. Treat everybody as first-class citizen, especially anybody who's born there, who can prove that they have some kind of attachment there. Just make it work, make it orderly. Uncle Sam, I'm not sure why you're taking the side of the disorder against the order. I really don't get this. You should be helping the Israelis, and let Iranians help the Israelis. Everybody help Israelis to bring some kind of order. And it's simple. It doesn't need that much help. It's not that complicated. Treat everybody as first-class citizen. Everything stops. All the problems are solved. If you give everybody the same rights. Period. One sentence. Again, love you, Uncle Sam. Love my Jewish people. But please bring some kind of order, peacefully. Some kind of order, which is when you say we treat everybody as equal citizens on this land, the Holy Land. And let everybody come in. Everybody come in. Make it one great big city. The country of Holy Land. The city of Holy Land. Love you folks.